What's up, everybody? My name is Alex Wilson from Fireside Giants, an Empire Sports Media production. You're listening to the Fireside Giants podcast. If you are a diehard Giants fan, you've come to the right place. Daily episodes, interviews, draft content, and so much more. Make sure to drop a like and a subscription below on YouTube. And don't forget to leave a comment. We love to engage with everybody. Now, the NFL Combine started this week, so some interesting stuff coming out. And the Giants are starting to make moves. Of course, they went into this offseason, Joe Schoen, new management, with negative $12 million in salary space. So just a short video to give you an idea of what's been happening today. They did release two players. Kyle Rudolph, the tight end, who the Dave Gettleman signed last year to a 2-year deal, which was completely egregious. It made no sense at all, considering the Giants needed offensive line help and they really misallocated a lot of that money. And they needed to spend on offensive line. They needed to keep Kevin Zeitler, if we're being honest right now, but they didn't. Obviously, they went with Kyle Rudolph, and they signed a backup to Saquon Barkley to help supplement his, coming back from injury and recovery in Devontae Booker. But both of those guys were cut on Thursday afternoon. So the Giants, rather Wednesday afternoon, the Giants now clear a little bit of salary space, and I'll give you some insight into what the funds look like right now. So the Giants, like I said, started with negative $12 million in cap space. Now they're at negative $6.5 million. They saved about $5 million from Kyle Rudolph and about $2 million from Devontae Booker. Now, I kind of like Devontae Booker personally. He ran pretty well. He was a decent receiver. He hit the hole hard. He didn't go down easily. He gave 100% effort, which I definitely appreciated for a team that did not give effort at all, it seemed at times. Even though the offensive line was absolutely terrible, Booker never really shied away from that challenge. And I think that really stood out to me as something that spoke a lot to his character. So I like Devontae Booker. But at the end of the day, I think the Giants are trying to go with a full rebuild here. And they're trying to bring in some new players. One guy, there's several running backs in this draft class who kind of are mid-round prospects who I think could fit the bill nicely for the Giants. And I think that Joe Schoen and management will look to grab one in the mid-rounds. One guy that stands out to me is Iowa State running back Breece Hall. Interesting player. He kind of reminds me a little of Jonathan Taylor in the way that he's patient behind the line of scrimmage. Am I saying he's Jonathan Taylor? Absolutely not. Do not get that confused. What I am saying is he does a really solid job of shifting defenders at the second level. So he's a patient runner behind the line of scrimmage. He waits and he waits until those defenders make a move, and then he uses really shiftiness. He's a pretty big running back if you look at him on the field, but he's pretty quick and agile for how big he is, which I think stands out when he's running the football. His second gear is pretty solid. He's able to quickly take different cuts and lanes. Would really fit a nice zone scheme, and if the Giants were going to run that, and I hope they do, because I did not like the power gap scheme he ran last year. A lot of vertical running, a lot of right up the middle A gap running, and it didn't make a lot of sense to me. A lot of pulling guards and stuff, which can be good, but I think this zone scheme kind of outside the tackles or right inside the tackle and guard would be ideal for the Giants. He's a really good, Breece Hall specifically is a really good player when it comes to one cut and then getting vertical. So that's why I think the zone schematic could be good for him. He's also a really solid receiver. So I think that stands out. He got a couple 100 yards last year and a couple receiving touchdowns. So that stands out as another asset he can bring to the team. But he's also a moldable player. He's a coachable, 100% effort. He set all sorts of records at Iowa State, which stands out to me as well. But losing Devontae Booker and Kyle Rudolph definitely opens up some gaps. We need another running back. I know we got Antonio Williams. He was a practice squatter. We signed to a futures deal with the Giants a couple weeks ago. And, the Giants releasing Kyle Rudolph definitely opens up a positional void at tight end, given Evan Ingram's hitting free agency. Now you lose Kyle Rudolph. I know Caden Smith is still on the roster, but his contract isn't guaranteed. You could save a couple million by cutting him. I know he's a fan favorite of many people, including myself, but I think at this point, a third round tight end, maybe like a Jeremy Ruckert, who we've done a film review already about. He's a really solid option to replace Kyle Rudolph. I think he has really solid receiving abilities. Trey McBride's one that stands out. Jaden Weidermeyer stands out. There's a couple of really solid players in this draft the Giants could look at, having brought in Andy Bischoff from the Baltimore Ravens, who developed Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends in football. So we have the coaching staff to get it done. Now it's up to the Giants staff and scouting department to really do the proper evaluations and bring in some talented players. Get those contracts off the board. Devontae Booker's already gone. Kyle Rudolph's already gone. I can totally see Riley Dixon being on his way out rather soon. They would save like $3 million from cutting him. There's a couple other players that do stand out. James Bradbury, maybe they'll try to trade him. Otherwise, I think he might have been cut already. I think they're trying to find a trade partner. They would still be on the hook for about $9 million in dead cap this season, but they would be able to save about $12.2 million in salary space, and they would also get some draft capital. So I think that would be a positive move for the Giants, because I think they kind of of change the scheme too much for Bradbury. He's not really a good man coverage, heavy cover one type of corner. He got burned a lot in the middle of the season when Patrick Graham tried to use that system. So I think when you're looking at James Bradbury, putting him in a zone scheme somewhere else would really fit his strengths and allow him to be his best self. I don't think he's taken any cap cuts or salary cuts to stay with the Giants. I mean, why would he want to do that in the prime of his career? Makes no logical sense. So I definitely think that they're going to look for a trade partner with James Bradbury, another team. But just wanted to give you guys a little rundown of the two players the Giants did release today and why. It makes a lot of sense. The money they did save, they're trying to get over the cap. It's going to take some time, going to take some more players, but the trades will definitely help, and I think they will execute a few. I know Saquon Barkley is one guy that a lot of people are wondering about. We've had that discussion before. Trading him would get $7.2 million off the book, so definitely an interesting idea there if the Giants do want to go that route. But it seems like they're asking for a significant return, which I don't know is probable. I like the negotiation tactic, but it definitely isn't probable. But guys, just want to give you that quick rundown of Kyle Rudolph and Devontae Booker and the money that we did save from that contract. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week. Make sure to like and subscribe below, and catch you guys on the next Fireside Giants episode.